good afternoon, class HM3C. So, at this moment, we are going to continue with the discussion of lesson 2, which is your understanding of the market dynamics. So, under this one, we have the trends in buying patterns. In the first one, we have your last minute booking. So, these are the new tendency wherein consumers make reservations for hotels or flights only a short time before their scheduled stays. So, with this, um, let's say that you are also booking for your travel at the last minute. Kumbaga, bukas yung iyong travel, bukas yung schedule nung emergency meeting, tas ngayon ka pa lang magbo-book. Okay, so that's what you have, how you have your last minute bookings. Okay, so under this, we have an example katulad ng Hotel Tonight app wherein these ones focus on last minute travelers. So like Hotel Tonight, so they let the travelers book hotel rooms on sale within a few hours of their arrival. So for example, you're a traveler, you might book a last minute room at a hotel in New York City through their website just a few hours before your flight arrives. Let's say your flight will arrive later at 5 p.m. and ngayon ka pa lang magbubook ng iyong hotel na tutuluyan sa lugar na iyon. Okay? So with this, what will happen? You can benefit from discounted ratings if ever they have unsold inventory. Let's say, yung room na yun ay nabook na pala previously kaso nga lang na-cancel. That's why they are willing to offer it for a cheaper rate kasi sa mga last minute bookings natin. Okay? And then we also have what you call your impulsive travel. So these are customers that may also plan trips spontaneously when they found out or when they find out that there is a sale. Kumbaga may piso sale or may seat sale. Diba? One-way base piso, one-way base fare or round trip ayan. So if ever there is also a flash sale. Or let's say for example, there is a group of friends which can impulsively plan to go to a beach resort kasi nga nakita nila na flash sale doon sa website ng airline. Kumbaga pupunta sila ng Iloilo kasi nakita nila na naka-flash sale or naka-sale mismo yung seats ng isang airline. So you can also come across a weekend getaway for a luxury hotel at a discounted price as well. Okay, so that's your last minute bookings. And the second trend that we have is your sustainability preferences. So, as customers, clients, or guests, you show your importance to sustainability. So, once you value sustainability, you can foresee a rising trend for environmental responsibility as well. So, this will attract eco friendly guests, okay, to stay doon sa green hotels, okay? Because you have your eco-friendly facilities and that will what will happen then after that magkakaroon na mas mataas na demand, okay, kasi yun yung prefer ng inyong mga guests, yung sustainable dapat yung kanilang accommodation. Okay, so in here we have an example such as your eco lodges and green hotels. So if you have eco lodges and green certified hotels, okay, you will be put at the top of the priority list when it comes to sustainability. So like Costa Rica. Costa Rica has got a lot of eco-friendly accommodation options like their La Parios Lodge. So it is actually powered by solar energy and then this one participates in the conservation of wildlife which can attract um, conscious travelers who are concerned with environment or let's say yung inyong hotel ay pet friendly din and then nagkataon na you are also a fur mom or fur parent, then what will happen? Mas mataas yung chance na dito ka magbo-book ng iyong stay. So next one, we have your green certification. So these hotels and resorts that have this sustainability certifications from Green Key or this Earth Check. So it is actually an organization which gives labels to hotels kung anong level sila when it comes to being sustainable and eco-friendly. Pwede ka maging silver check, earth check certified, gold, or we have the diamond or platinum. Ayan, so you are more likely to attract tourists who care for the environment, okay? That's how important green certifications are. And pwede mo rin yan ilagay doon sa iyong website or i-promote na kayo lang kumbaga yung nag-iisang hotel na EarthCheck certified. Ayan. So, example natin dito is the Marriott Bonvoy, wherein, for example, they offer eco-friendly alternatives for travelers, wherein they use entirely reusable bottles, okay, plastic bottles, and then sustainable food options na instead of getting their raw materials or raw ingredients from outside of the province, dito na sila kukuha sa malapit lamang para makatipid ng carbon emission, mabawasan, makatipid sa diesel, di ba? And then sa time. So also the waste reduction program. So this will allow guests to feel good about their environmental friendliness. Na kumbaga, using of reusable bottles will save blank number of animals. O mga ganyan. So that's the trend in buying patterns. So after this, okay, we have your competitor analysis and benchmarking. So we define competitor analysis as a process through which a company identifies and assesses or evaluates all the strengths and weaknesses of your or of their rivals and their strategies within the same market, of course, to learn how they affect its business. Whereas benchmarking compares an organization's performance metrics with competitors or sector standards in order to detect or to pinpoint areas of need, also use strong points and balance weaknesses. Okay? So kung sa competitor analysis, you identify and you evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the rivals. Dito naman sa benchmarking, okay? Titingnan mo yung performance ng organization as compared to the competitors or the standards from the sector or the hospitality sector, for example. Okay, kung saan yung kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin, ano yung strong points, and of course, yung kabaliktaran niya, which are your weaknesses. So under competitor analysis and benchmarking, we have two types. So the first one is your direct competitors. So these are companies that offer the same products or services as what you are offering, and they sell the same products to clients and markets. So meaning they are the target audience. So example is that there is a coffee shop that you own. So all other companies in your area with coffee as well as their main product are your direct competitors. O let's say si Chloe's Pizza, direct competitor niya si Happy Hats. Si Raphael's Pizza, ganyan. O kaya naman si Mrs. G, direct competitor niya si NE Bake Shop at saka si Goldilocks. Ayan. Sa bangko naman, o kumbaga si DBP, si PNB, si Loan Bank, si China Bank, they are direct competitors. Let's say sa fast food restaurants naman, we have your Chowking, Mang Inasal, and Jollibee. So those are your direct competitors. You offer the same product and you target the same audience or those consumers. Okay. Next is your indirect competitor. So, an indirect rival or competitor is a business or company that, although it offers a distinctive product or service, it still strives for the same target market or customers as another company. Okay, so para mas maintindihan ninyo, we have your indirect competitors are when firms develop diverse products but are still concerned with the same market and customers. Or for example, chocolate and cookies are both sweets. Thus, they can be alternated, which means they are indirect competitors. Okay, another thing, we have mango shake and water. Okay, so you need to quench your thirst or your thirst, tama ba? Also, you have your, let's say, um, television and your mobile phone because naghahanap ka ng pagpapanooran mo sana. Okay? So indirect competitors, they still target the same market but they offer different products. Or let's say, nagugutom ka, it's either bibili ng banana Q, ng bread, ng burger, ganyan. Okay? So those are your indirect competitors. Next, we have your benchmarking tools and strategies. So for number one, we have your online reviews, wherein you keep track of customer feedback on sites like Tripad or TripAdvisor, your Google reviews, and Yelp in order for you to find out what usually has complained about or is appreciated in a competitor's offerings. So, a hotel that often gets complaints from customers about waiting times at a competitor's check in counter can work on improving its own check in process and thus attract unhappy guests from the competitor. Okay, so under your online reviews, Okay, importante yung feedback, 'di ba? Positive or negative man 'yan. 'Di ba kapag kayo nagsho-shopping, let's say sa Shopee or sa Lazada or sa TikTok Shop, binabasa niyo muna yung kanilang mga reviews para malaman ninyo if it's going to be worth it. Worth the price ba? Magtatagal ba yung product na ito? Kumusta kaya kumusta kaya yung kalagayan nung parcel nung dumating? Maayos ba siya? Lukot-lukot ba or sira na? Okay? So, kumbaga sa hotel, if you often get complaints from customers kasi nga mabagal ang pag-check-in ninyo, hahanap ka, pupunta ka doon sa ibang hotel kasi dahil hindi mangyayari yon if ever man pinabilis sana nung hotel na pinupuntahan. Binibilisan nila yung kanilang check-in process para hindi nalilipat dun sa kabila. Okay? You need to improve your check-in process so that you can attract unhappy guests from the competitor. Kumbaga si Hotel A and Hotel B, si Hotel A masyadong matagal ang process. Instead na doon sana sila sa Hotel A, lumipat na lang sila sa Hotel B. Ganon. And then we have here the second one which are your industry reports. Okay, so these industry reports kasama occupancy rates, revenue per available room or your RevPAR, and also your ADR or your average daily rate, okay? Average daily rate. So this can be used to compare performance metrics with third-party data. Or let's say an example is that a hotel compares its average daily rate to rivals in the same market using the Smith Travel Research reports. So if your hotel detects that your rates are very much higher or lower, the flexibility of changing prices will be a good way in order for you to keep competitive. O kumbaga, chinek ninyo sa STR or sa Smith Travel Research. And then nakita ninyo na yung price ninyo is medyo mas mataas or medyo mababa. So with that, mag-a-adjust kayo kung tataasan or bababaan pa ba ninyo yung price ng inyong product. Okay? So that's for your industry reports. Ito yung mga metrics na gagamitin mo, occupancy rate, RevPAR, at saka ADR. Okay, after that, we have your social media listening. Okay, so this is the third benchmarking tools and strategies wherein you monitor or you take note on the engagement of your competitors on social media platforms like Instagram or Twitter or X na ngayon, di ba ang tawag? So, in order for you to evaluate your marketing success and you can also discover customer insights, okay? So, in here, oh, wait lang. Ayan, customer insights. So, with that, if your hotel is being competed with notices that your rival's Instagram campaign na nasa rooftop pool has gone viral, what are you going to do? This will motivate your business or your company also to promote what is so exclusive to it by adapting your own marketing strategy. So, if they have a rooftop pool, ano naman ang meron sa inyo? Let's say you have your own gym for free sa lahat ng mga mag-check-in, o di ba? Or if not, you have your own spa kung saan 1 hour is free or 30 minutes is free and then the remaining 30 minutes will be paid. Ayan. So, yung mga pwede mong ilagay. So, dapat makikinig ka rin sa social media kung ano ba yung nangyayari sa social media post or account ng inyong competitor so that you will know if ever there are changes. Okay? Pero wag naman masyado mag-focus din doon. Kailangan igawin, gumawa ng strategy, marketing strategy na swak doon sa inyong hotel. Okay? And then number 4, we have your mystery shopping. So mystery shopping is delegating people to competitors to experience their services firsthand and collect helpful information. So from the words of mystery shopping, wherein you are going to hire or request some people para pumunta doon sa competitor ninyo, doon sila avail ng service para first hand nila ma-experience and they can also collect information that would be helpful in your business as well. So example natin dito, Hotel HN3C might employ a mystery shopper to try out the spa services at a luxury competitor nearby and compare it with their own offerings. So kumbaga, doon sa kanila, meron silang free massage or spa treatment na 30 minutes or meron silang gym, pero sa inyo wala. So, instead of the gym, anong pwede niyong ibigay doon? May pa-yoga or pa-zumba ba kayo every morning for free doon sa mga may gusto? Ayan. So, mystery shopping, kumbaga sila yung inyong, anong tawag natin doon? sila ay maging undercover. Ayan, titingnan nila ano yung mga experience nila doon, how was the vibes, how was the staff, as well as their services. Okay? And then now we have your demand generation and demand capture. So what's the difference between these two? For the demand generation, these are strategies aimed at creating interest, awareness, and demand for a product or service among your potential or your prospect customers, clients, or guests. Wherein you target new or untapped audiences. When say untapped, hindi pa sila na-reach out, ganyan. Wala pa silang, kumbaga, experience with your product or services. Okay, kung bago pa lang sa kanila. So, demand generation. From the result na generate, you're going to create, okay, para ma-pick yung kanilang interest, maging aware sila, and magkaroon ng demand sa iyong product. Whereas, demand capture naman are strategies that are designed to enable existing demand na po to be transformed into sales by targeting the customers who have already made their way to the market with a specific product or service in mind. So after generation, you can also have demand capture. Or if not, let's say there is already a demand, awareness, and interest, you're going to capture their demand. Kung saan, okay, yung existing demand na yun, gagawin ninyo siyang sales. Na kumbaga nalaman niyo may demand sa flowers dahil graduation. Then what are you going to do? Then you're going to sell, you're going to promote your products and services. Let's say you're going to sell fresh flowers, or meron ding fuzzy wire na flowers, or made from satin ribbon na flowers. Okay, so that's for your demand capture. Meron na po siyang existing demand. Pero pag sa demand generation, wala pa, mag-create ka pa lang. Okay? So under our demand generation, sa examples and strategies natin for creating new demand, number one is your experiential marketing. So, experiential marketing is a type of marketing that brings people and businesses to a place where they can interact and understand the brand in an effective and direct way. Okay, from the result of experience, such as having wedding expositions. Let's say si Sandals Resorts, nag-display siya ng kanyang unique and romantic venues, luxurious accommodations as well, and all-inclusive packages for a wedding. So, all aimed at couples who wish to have destination weddings. Ayan. So, experience. So, kumbaga, they got to experience the food. O kumbaga dun sa wedding expo, pwede silang magpa-free taste doon na ano usually yung kanilang mga grazing table, ano usually yung kanilang main dishes na pwedeng pagpilian. And then, magkano yung packages, ayan, ano yung mga inclusion. So, that's how you have your experiential marketing. You let the soon-to-be wedded couple try. Kumbaga, papakita niya sa kanila ano yung different setups, the differences of this when it comes to price, and yung mga services na ino-offer. Okay po. And then the second one under demand generation is your social media campaigns, wherein you employ social media platforms for interaction with interesting audiences with the help of your targeted content and influencer alliances. So, sa demand generation, kaya nga you're going to generate, you need to make use of social media campaigns. Pwede kang magbigay ng talent fee, or ng, let's say, hihingi ka ng time or ng appearance ng isang vlogger or ng vlogger. Or kaya naman, papastayhin mo siya dun sa iyong hotel for one night, magbibigay siya ng review, i-feature niya yung iyong hotel, ganyan. So, para ma-pick yung interest, makapag-create ka ng interest, awareness, and demand. So, example, Hyatt partners with travel influencers to produce eye-catching visuals featuring activities like spa treatments and rooftop dinners, making visitors come to their hotels. Ayan, so 'di ba? They partnered with travel influencers. Para at least yung si influencer, marami siyang followers, ganyan, marami mantabay sa kanya, then they will be able to see that because of the travel influencer that you've partnered your business with. Okay, so that's for your social media campaigns. Next, we have your number three, which is your content marketing. Okay, so as for your attendance, for me to know that you have watched the recorded lecture of the second half of our lesson 2, I'd like you to send me a private message on Messenger. Okay, send me a private message on Messenger stating your name, first name, middle initial, and last name. And sa baba noon, pakilagay ang inyong program, your level, and section. Okay? Mag-send sa akin ng PM sa Messenger stating your first name, middle initial, and last name together with your program, your level, and section. Okay. So going back here sa ating discussion, content marketing is the process of creating and sharing a piece of content that is of value to inform and engage the target customers. So in here, from the itself content, dapat may laman, diba? Wherein you create and share a piece of content. Okay, for example, um, if you also do a blog posts of your business wherein you can give travel tips, things to do, as well as authentic cultural experiences which made your business or your marketing as an expert in attracting new visitors na kumbaga, oh, I saw from the post of HM3C Hotel that um in order for me to have a meaningful vacation, I should bring this once. Kumbaga vlog, ano lang siya, naka-text lang, pictures. Pero pag vlog, of course, there is a video and sounds na po. Okay, so yan, sa content marketing, you share a piece of information na may kabuluhan at may kahalagahan so that your customers might engage, 'di ba? So, let's say, i-share nila sa kanilang group chat, yung napanood nila galing sa inyong post or yung nabasa nila kasi vlog yung inyong pinost. Okay, so that's how important content is. You make sure na may laman talaga siya and makabuluhan yung inyong mga pinopost in order for you to generate demand. Okay? And then, we will proceed now with demand capture. So, this is for converting existing demand na. So, number one na strategies and examples natin dito ay yung search engine advertising, wherein you target customers actively search for products or services through your pay-per-click advertising wherein um, let's say sponsored ads kapag clinic nila yun po maraming heart reaction, comment, maraming share or maraming like reaction, ayan. So minsan kasi nakakatuwa naman kapag sinearch for example sa Google, let's say hotel in Baler, o tapos una agad papakita yung sayo. So that's your search engine advertising, meaning there is already demand. So, ang gagawin na lang is that yung demand na yun, gagawin mo siyang sales. That's why you can have your pay-per-click. And example natin, a hotel by the sea in Miami uses Google Ads with phrases such as beachfront hotels in Miami to attract travelers who are already seeking lodging in the area. Kumbaga, beachfront hotels in Aurora, beachfront hotels in Dipakulaw or in Baler. Ayan. So that's for their search engine kung isi-search nila. And minsan nga, di ba, sa Facebook, papansin ninyo, kung ano yung lagi mong pinapanood, yun yung lagi napapakita na rin, 'di ba? Kahit ayaw mo, yun yung lagi papakita. Okay, kung ano yung search mo, yun yung related doon ang magpapakita sa Google. Next, number two, under the demand capture is your dynamic pricing. So price is adjusted in real time depending on the demand and the market situation. From the result dynamic, it changes. Depende doon sa dami ng demand or sa unti ng demand at sa sitwasyon ng inyong market or ng inyong audience. Kung saan, let's say, they have a good economic standing or the economy is in boom or if it's in regression. So example natin dito is your airlines and hotels increase their prices during peak seasons such as spring break or major holidays in order for them to maximize their revenue due to high demand. Whereas you can also lower your rates during low season or the off-peak season to attract still more conscious or more cost-conscious na travelers. Okay? So, ito, as an airline or as a hotel, let's say, tataasan mo daw siya kapag may holiday, may long weekend, vacation, or summer, ganyan. And bababaan mo naman siya pag off-season, let's say pag July, August, September, kasi tag-ulan na iyan, may pasok na, wala masyadong matatravel. Sa August, pwede pa kasi medyo maraming holidays yun, 'di ba? So that's your dynamic pricing. Idedepende mo rin. O kaya lalo na ngayon, medyo mahal ang krudo, 'di ba? Mahal pa rin ang ating mga petroleum products. So, mag-a-adjust ka ng kakaunti. Pero pag nagmura ulit, you can also sell it for a higher price. Let's say, from 2,500, ginawa mo na lang 2,000. O kaya from 5,000 ang dalawang room, magiging 4,500 na lang. Pero pag long weekend, yung 2,500 na yun, pwede mo maibenta ng 3,000 per night yung room rate mo. So that's for your dynamic pricing. Okay? And lastly, we have your retargeting ads. Retargeting ads, wherein you display advertisements to users who have already visited a website or app but didn't complete a purchase yet. Or example are your users who have been previously with the website. They have searched it, they have checked it out, kumbaga na add to cart pero hindi nila nag-proceed sa payment o kaya kinancel nila, ganyan. So that's your retargeting ads. Example, a traveler who has been to a hotel's website but did not book the room could see targeted ads on Facebook or Google later, which will remind him or her, okay, of the great deal and make them finish the booking. So, retargeting ads. So, kumbaga, ikaw ay nag-subscribe sa newsletter ng CLN or ng pen shop ng H&M, ganyan. Or let's say, na Adidas and Nike. And then, nag-add to cart ka, pero hindi mo pinush na bilihin. Ayan, so pwede mangyayari dyan, ipa-personalize niya pa kung tatawagin niya. Hello, Miss A. So maybe you'd like to check today's or this month's collection. Ayan, so it's up for you if you want to open it, ganyan, or for you to check it out again, or kung meron kayong maa-avail na this time. So that's your retargeting ads under your demand capture. Okay? So sa ating demand capture, we have how many? We have 3. And then sa ating demand generation, we also have 3. Okay? So that's actually the end of the second half of our lesson. Kindly review because you are going to have a 20-point quiz next meeting. Okay? Sa kailan yung next meeting na yon? That will be on Tuesday ng 3 p.m. Okay? So, yung inyo pong attendance, hihintayin ko po. Okay? So, have a great weekend. Goodbye, class.